going to call to order the meeting of the Noblesville Common Council for today, January 25th. If we could please stand, and Mr. Davis, if you would please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Ms. Lees, will you do the roll call, please?
Mr. Ayer,
Present.
Mr. Boyce,
Present.
Mr. Davis,
Present.
Mr. O'Connor,
Present.
Mr. Peterson,
Here.
Mr. Schwartz,
Present.
Mr. Smith,
Present.
Mr. Sparks,
Present.
Ms. Wild.
Present.
Madam President, you have a quorum.
Thank you. Moving on to the approval of the minutes from our January 11th meeting. Can I have a motion?
Move to approve. Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the minutes of January 11th. All those in favor, raise your right hand. We have 7 in favor and 2 abstentions.
Yes. Abstention.
Abstentions? Okay. Moving on to the approval of the agenda.
Madam President, I move that we approve the agenda as presented.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the agenda as presented. All those in favor, raise your right hand. 9-0. Petitions or comments by citizens who are present. I do not have any of the white slips, but if anyone would like to say something, please get one from the desk in the back and present it to the clerk. We will move on to council committee reports. We've got the downtown district. Mr. Smith.
Yes, the Downtown District Committee met on Wednesday, January 19th. Darren Peterson, Megan Wiles, and myself were present, along with a slew of community stakeholders. We talked about the status of funds for the committee as we look to what we want to accomplish this year. First item of business was the Levinson signage that is being put in place, both exterior and interior. That should be coming this spring. We also talked about our continued efforts to activate the alleys downtown. The one of note is the East Alley will be getting a entrance marker to welcome people into the alley, as well as some other activation features for the south and east alleys. We also talked about a few other efforts to utilize the funds for the committee. One of them that we're exploring is black street name signs. So that is something that we are studying the cost of. We approved a grant for both the Front Porch Festival and the Peony Festival that will be happening downtown this year. And then we talked just in general about some updates for the projects that are happening downtown. Mr. Head gave us a great website that I would encourage the public to utilize also, cityofnoblesville.org/projects, which our communications team is updating regularly with all of our projects downtown and throughout the city. And then finally, we also talked about our ongoing efforts to get the Bridge of Flowers constructed. And that was about it.
Okay. Thank you very much. Any questions for Mr. Smith? Seeing none, we'll move on to the Finance Committee. Mr. Davis.
Thank you, Madam President. We met January 20th. Greg O'Connor, Darren Peterson, Aaron Smith, and myself. Holly Ramone and Sam Barris discussed the fiscal action for prior year contractual services. Patty Johnson talked about a fiscal action for street department position reclassification. Jeff Spalding gave us an update on capital projects short-term GO bond of the 2020 and 2021 one-year bond. And Jeff Spalding also discussed quarterly financial reports for 2021 quarter 4. That and some fiscal and debt actions on the council meeting agenda we discuss as we do every week. And the claims docket comes to the council with a favorable recommendation.
Thank you very much. Any questions for Mr. Davis? Could we have a motion to approve the claims as presented?
Move to approve. Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor, raise your right hand. 9-0. Moving on. Miscellaneous item 1, we will move forward to a future meeting as ongoing conversations with the county and our collaborative relationships that we have with them. There's some tweaking of some of that language, so we're going to make it in the best interest of all parties, and that will come before the council at a later date and time. So then we will move on to new ordinance for discussion. Council to consider ordinance number 01-1-22, an ordinance for special consideration for the operation of a soccer facility in the corporate campus plan development district, a part of Washington Business Park at 9741 East 153rd Street. Joyce Ann Yelton.
Move to introduce.
Second.
Thank you.
Thank
Good
you.
evening.
Good evening. This is a part of the Washington Business Park, Phase 1. As you can see outlined on the aerial photograph, the area in red is Phase 1 of the Washington Business Park. The area that is shaded in the lilac color is the specific lot that we will be referring to this evening during this presentation. As you can see, surrounding land uses include SMC. They include north of SMC is what is known as the Cumberland Point Commercial Park. To the south of the Washington Business Park is the Noblesville Business Park. So we have basically most of the areas is surrounded by very similar uses. Currently on this lot is the construction of a proposed 162,000 square foot building. Which is adjacent to 153rd Street and basically east of North Point Boulevard. Currently, a portion of this building has already been leased. A western portion of it's been leased to basically a custom automation system engineering. The center of the building, as of the Plan Commission meeting back in December, had not been leased yet, and the proposed use for the eastern portion is for an indoor commercial recreational use, which is considered a special consideration under our use chart in the corporate campus. The applicant, again, is requesting the use for an indoor commercial recreational activity, which specifically is a soccer club. With this approval, the area of the building would be remodeled to basically include 2 soccer fields, indoor soccer fields, restrooms, offices, classrooms, and training facilities. Based on the use chart for the corporate campus, a special consideration is an allowable use in the corporate campus, but it's a use that may take additional scrutiny by the Plan Commission and the Council. Other special considerations, just to give you an idea of some of the other special considerations in the corporate campus, would include such uses as an airport, stone processing, many storage warehouses, contractor's office, chemical processing, a plant nursery, automobile rental, places of worship, a golf course. Those are some of the other special considerations that if somebody proposed one of those uses would have to go to the Plan Commission and the Council. This item was heard at the Plan Commission meeting back in December. It was sent forward with a favorable recommendation for adoption by a unanimous vote, and there were 8 Plan Commission members present that evening. And with that, I will ask if you have any questions of staff. If not, the applicants are in the audience.
Any questions of staff? Mr. O'Connor.
Joyce Ann, there's no proposed concessions in here, or are there, do you know?
That was
Maybe
not a
that's
part
a
of the
question for the
application, and it
applicant,
might
but
be a better question for the applicant.
I'm just curious.
Okay. Any other questions of staff? We'll follow up with the petitioner here in a moment. Seeing none? Okay.
Thank you.
And for the record, if you'd please state your name and your address.
Yes, Andrew Greenwood with Patch Development, 400 Alpha Drive, Westfield, Indiana. I think Joyce Ann did a really good job of explaining what we're trying to do. Just to add to that, the soccer group is moving from Fishers They're a large club here in the Indianapolis area. The use would be all internal. There's no outdoor recreational use here. So essentially, players are getting dropped off, training, taking classes, playing, picked up and leave. The majority, if not 100% of the activity would be in the evenings and on the weekends. So I know one of the questions that we had at Plan Commission was about the parking. The other uses of the building, that parking will be during the day, normal typical office hours. The parking and the use of the recreational facility would be in the evenings and on the weekends. So as a part of our conversation with Plan Commission, there were no additional proposals or concessions because we felt like we had met that extra scrutiny.
Are they gonna have concessions inside for observers, do you know? Hot dogs, hamburgers, any?
I don't know. I think there's probably, they do an adult soccer league in the evenings, so there could be some concessions with that, but we haven't got that granular with the detail with them, so I apologize.
Any other questions, Mr. Greenwood? Okay. Hearing none, we'll see you at our next meeting.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Moving on to transfers. Transfer number 1, council to consider transfer TA-03-22, an appropriation transfer in the general fund to allocate funding for contractual services. Mr. Barris.
Thank you, council members. Sam Barris, Office of Finance and Accounting. As stated, this is a transfer, in this case from non-departmental contingency to the Human Resource Department's budget of approximately $16,000. It covers the last installment of our payments to a company called First Person, who conducted a compensation study of city employees last year. The results of that study have already been communicated to council. Council's already acted on the new salary ordinance that was informed by that study and adopted a fiscal action to move money into departments' budgets at the last council meeting. So in this case, the money for this contract was budgeted for last year in 2021. And the intent was to have it all paid out in 2021. Unfortunately, the last payment was not processed before the end of the year. And as you are well aware, council appropriations, also known as authorization to spend money, expire at the end of the year. So essentially to make their budget whole again, Human Resources is asking for this appropriation increase for 2022. But the cost of the contract didn't go up. We're not paying any more money than we thought we were going to pay. It is strictly a timing issue. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Any questions of Mr. Barris?
Madam President,
Mr. O'Connor?
I move we approve TA-03-22 as presented.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve transfer TA-03-22. All those in favor, raise your right hand. 9-0. Thank you very much. Moving on to transfer number 2, council to consider transfer TA-04-22, an appropriation transfer in the general fund to allocate funding for a position reclassification in the street department. Mr. Barris.
Thank you again, council members. This is another transfer from non-departmental contingency, this time just under $6,000 to increase the street department's budget on an ongoing basis. In this case, to cover the cost of a position reclassification, essentially to bring a position in line, a title in line with the duties that's actually being performed by that individual. In this case, we're talking about an administrative assistant now having the position title of accounting clerk, which is an existing position within the salary ordinance. So just changing that person's title, and there's a small fiscal impact. So this would increase their budget. Happy to answer any questions.
Any questions of Mr. Barris? I did see that Ms. Johnson has come out this evening to join us, so Patty, would you like to say anything, or are you good? Any questions of Patty, I guess? Okay. Hearing none, could I have a motion,
Madam
please?
President?
Mr. O'Connor.
I would move that we approve transfer TA-04-22 as presented.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve transfer TA-04-22. All those in favor, raise your right hand. 9-0. Thank you very much. Next item is council comments.
I'd love to drag this meeting out one more minute.
The only comment
Oh,
is, the only
Mayor,
comment
oh,
is
I'm so sorry.
we are meeting on a different than normal schedule in February,
Yeah.
correct? So that would be my only comment for
Okay.
anybody that's interested. It's February 8th is our next council meeting.
Thank you, Mr. Ed. Mayor, I apologize, that I did not recognize you earlier in the meeting, so
No
welcome.
apologies necessary, Madam President. It's great to be with you. Happy New Year. I'm sorry I was not able to be here at the last meeting, but it's wonderful to be with each and every one of you as we head into 2022. I have 4 quick items to go over with you tonight. First of all, earlier this evening, we swore in Jason Thompson to be one of our newest deputy chiefs of the Noblesville Police Department. You may recall Shane Ganan was a longtime senior member of our police department and had the opportunity to become town marshal of Yorktown. And I congratulate him on that. I congratulate them on that promotion, but opened up a deputy chief spot. John Mann and Chad Connect did a phenomenal job opening up the hiring process to those interested in serving this department in a bigger way. And Jason Thompson, who is a 17-year native of the Noblesville Police Department, was selected through that process. So he was sworn in earlier this evening. His wife and his 4 beautiful kids were there with him. So we're excited I always say I'm excited to see the next generation step up, and he certainly fills that void for us. So congratulations, Jason. Also, I have the rare privilege at times of honoring employees who have certain years of service. And this person's a little bit different tonight, but 10 years ago, Evelyn Lees, our clerk, started with the city of Noblesville, first as a staff member and then now as an elected official. So I wanted to honor her tonight with a 10-year pen of service in Noblesville City. I thought tonight was a great opportunity to do that, so we're honored that you continue to serve alongside us here. 2 final notes. Tomorrow, myself and Council President Wiles, as well as Bob Dubois, will head down to the Indiana State House to testify on behalf of Senate Bill 133, which is a bill that we have been working on with several legislators to allow some flexibility within our downtown area for outdoor beverages, for example, for different festivals and whatnot. Representative Smoltz in Northern Indiana and Senator Brown from Fort Wayne area have both been advocates to allow locals to decide what's best for their community, which is something that we all preach up here on a probably weekly basis. So look forward to going down and supporting that testimony tomorrow. And then finally, I'll just mention, I know the Senate and the House are both in late this evening, but earlier today there was a committee hearing on a bill in the Senate that would involves business personal property tax. And I would just encourage all of us to take some time over the next week or so to study that issue. I know we are all small tax individuals here in the city of Noblesville, but I also think it's always very important to understand what those statewide implications have on our communities. And so the Indiana Senate was good enough to put a halt to that until they had a real full understanding of what a full replacement mechanisms would be to locals to make them whole going forward. And so I applaud the Senate. Again, I always welcome the thought, and I appreciate the idea of making sure that our city and our state remains as competitive as possible. But at the end of the day, and I feel like sometimes our friends at 200 West Washington Street don't realize that we have to continue to fill potholes and continue to make our community safe. And so we have to make sure that we have the appropriate revenues to do that going forward. So minor note there, and I appreciate our legislators for all they do most of the time. That's all I have, Madam President. Thank you so much for your time tonight.
Any questions of the mayor? Seeing none.
Thank
Thank you
you.
very much. I apologize.
Thank you, Mayor.
Okay. Now, any other council comments for this evening? Hearing none, motion to adjourn?
So moved.
We are adjourned. Thank you all very much.